In this video, we're going to discuss the Triton Audio Compressor. Now, you're thinking, what on earth is that? And I'll tell you what it is. It is a genius idea. This is a connector that has an Opto Compressor in it. Now, what you can do, plug it in to any dynamic microphone. And look, you have an Opto Compressor connected to the mic. I think this is such a good idea. I can see so many use cases for it. Things like podcasting, or if you're ever doing anything where you're recording vocals, singing, doing anything like that, live on stage, you literally have an Optocomp on your mic, connected to your mic. Now, you could put this on your mic, or you could have it further down the cable. So you could plug your XLR in and then have this actual connector connected between two different XLR cables. No problem with that. Does require phantom power, and you have to use a dynamic mic or a ribbon mic, I believe. So I'm going to show you how this works using this SM57. Now, I don't use dynamic mics too much, but I've grabbed this one out to test this because honestly, I really do think this is an incredible idea. It solves so many problems that people have if you're out and about recording. You know, these people that record on the street, you're just literally, you don't have to take any sort of an Opto Comp. Like, you're not going to take an Opto Comp out and about with you. That is an Opto Comp. I think it is genius. Look at the size of it. It's literally a little connector. So what I'll do in this video is I'll show you how this works. Genius idea. Oh, and the other thing it has is you've got basically more or less compression. So there's a little kind of dial there. So you've got less, and then you turn it round and you've got more. So I'll show that working in this section of the video. So let's show you now. And what I'll do is I'll put the waveforms up so you can see visually how much compression is being applied and what it's actually doing. Genius idea. I'm really, really impressed with this. So as you can see, I am now recording through the SM57, and you know, you can see there visually that there are quite a few peaks in my dialogue and the way that I'm talking. You know, it's not massively controlled. So now, if what we do is I'll turn this Opto Comp all the way up, so I'll carry on talking as if normally how I would talk. So this is how I would talk, and I'll turn it up. So now I'm going to turn it up, and what you'll see, I'll go to the full max, and now what you see is me talking exactly the same, but I'm far more controlled. You can see far less peaks. You can see a very, very clear and controlled dialogue when I'm recording. So if I now talk really loud, so I am talking quite loud at this point, so you can see that, you know, it's holding that peak. So it's compressing the dialogue really well, and it's controlling everything that I'm saying. And I'm talking quite loud, far louder than I would. So now if I talk a little bit quieter, you know, it's still holding that volume. So that volume, the kind of control of how this dialogue is coming out is very stable. It's not up, down. Whereas now what I'll do is I'll turn it off. I'll turn it right the way down to less, and you'll see that my dialogue is now going to be a little bit more all over the place. So I'm keeping it very controlled now. But if I talk a bit louder, you'll notice in the waveform that I'm getting dramatically louder. So now if I talk a bit quieter, back down to where I was, you know, it's now lower in volume. But if I go now really loud, you can now see that the volume has actually increased. So this is where these sorts of opto compressors are really good, especially for dialogue. So now if I turn it right the way down, back, or rather I turn it right the way up and apply the compression that I want, now what you're seeing is you're seeing this controlled dialogue, which I think to put that into a opto compressor inline into this tiny little kind of what is essentially a connector, it is such a genius idea. Now, you can see quite clearly here that there is, you know, that is a very, very controlled piece of dialogue. Now, if I just turn it off again, you know, I'm back up. You know, the waveform is up and down, and you know, I've got a lot of dynamics. If you want to apply compression whilst going in, like, this is going to be incredible for singers on stage. You can, you know, singers, they're moving the mic away from them, acting as their own compression, and kind of controlling the volume by taking the mic in and out. This will give you the ability to just sing, and you get a great sound out of it. I'm massively impressed with this. Just looking at this waveform, it's, you know, look, let me just do one last time. I'll turn it right away up and I'll finish talking, and then there you see me back down nice and controlled. Now, you can clearly hear the difference between me when I have this Opto Comp on and when I have it off. Like, this is a genius idea. The guys at Triton Audio have done really well with this to fit an Opto compressor into that little kind of what is essentially a connector. Very impressive.